The narratives and stories of Nigeria as a rising giant has never before sounded as convincing as they do now. Never before have the changes been so visible and apparent. And the people of this great nation, indeed the world's most populous black nation, have never before now passionately embraced the hope of better times, accentuated by responsive government. There is clearly no doubt that the tide has turned, and like millions in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria would say, these are indeed good times. This is the story of the Presidential Amnesty Program, the change envisaged by President Muhammadu Buhari and currently being orchestrated by the coordinator of the program, Brigadier General Paul Boro.
My mandate essentially is to ensure that the amnesty program is successfully and efficiently seen through. Yes, and this program is based on disarmament, demobilization, rehabilitation, and reintegration. I want to make bold to say that the aspect of disarmament and demobilization, as well as rehabilitation, has been done. We are in the last phase, which has to do with reintegration, and this is the phase that we are pursuing right now.
In telling the story of the Niger Delta region, there is the distinct feeling that one is telling the very story of the fatherland. A story of struggles and strife, as well as the collective emergence of a people's will to succeed even in the face of lurking shadows of doubt. Indeed, the proclamation of amnesty for former armed agitators in the Niger Delta region signaled the watershed and drove the change process. Incidentally, change is the mantra of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. The president's vision for a great Nigeria envisages a fresh lease of life to key priority areas such as the development of the Niger Delta. The imperatives for this are all too clear. The Niger Delta region continues to provide the bulk of the country's revenue from oil exploration. Its continued relevance and role in the polity therefore makes the ultimate target of sustaining stability and development in the Delta even more necessary. The Presidential Amnesty Program remains a key component to drive that agenda. There are currently a total of 30,000 delegates captured in the program, most of whom are positively engaged in trainings with the capacity to turn them into model citizens. They are either captured into the formal or informal segment of the reintegration component of the process.
And they have to help people back home who will rely on them for a well-managed economy, for a well-managed construction industry, for a well-managed oil production and other social services.
So far, of the 30,000 participants, 13,000 delegates have been trained, 2,500 empowered in different trade areas, while an additional 1,224 delegates will be empowered by the end of 2015.
So the post-training answers the question, what next after the training? And because it's a DDR program, you just have to ensure that those persons that have been trained, okay, have gainful employment, at least that's either gainfully employed as salary earners, or you empower them so that they can also contribute to their own part into building the society in terms of wealth generation, owning businesses.
But then, what are the imperatives of this training for youth who mostly hail from areas considered socially disadvantaged?
This amnesty, like you said, it's working. You know, like people don't understand the meaning of having academics overseas. It's an added advantage. You know, like life is not really fair. Like what I saw is a different ball game altogether. What I studied, the environment, everything makes me understand that we can do better.
My mind is more open. It has exposed me, and then I've gained skills that I didn't have. I studied masters in business management, and I've gained skills in management, in operations, and I didn't have those skills. And another thing, I got work experience from this scheme, so I'm a better person. I'm more equipped.
Our competencies are unquestionable in areas of strategic management, in areas of product development management, in areas of policy formulations, and so on. So we are throwing up ourselves to the government wherever the government has feel that we have deemed it necessary to put us in to serve. We are willing to serve, and that is why we came back home.
Human capacity development is at the core of the Presidential Amnesty Program and is the cornerstone of the reintegration component. At this critical phase of the program, the coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Boro, has followed up with seemingly tall but clearly achievable targets. These targets all aim at ensuring the successful and sustainable reintegration of already trained delegates into civil society as productive members.
And in this phase, we have tried to carry out activities to strengthen the hearts and minds of the people, that's the ex-militants.
This becomes more feasible as the Presidential Amnesty Office begins to map out available opportunities, matching them with skills development within the program. But first, to achieve a remarkable level of success requires a great deal of focus, dedication, synergy, and coordination within the ranks of the program. Coming from a background of international peacekeeping and conflict resolution, Brigadier General Paul Boro understands too well the importance of mainstreaming operations to achieve set targets. He initiated this process upon assumption of office by instituting a structure to review, assess, verify, and consolidate key areas of the program.
The issues that cropped up before I was appointed had to do with payments of stipends, payments of settlement of debts incurred by the program in the various institutions, both onshore and offshore, and particularly students pay the housing accommodation, and issues that has to do also with impactation of these people, ex-militants. These are the issues that I met on ground. And on arrival, what I did first was to establish a verification exercise to ascertain the number of people that actually will benefit in line with those whose names appear in the document given to me. Immediately after that, I embarked on settlement of debts.
Having laid that platform, Brigadier General Paul Boro began to invest in building relationships and structures to facilitate the rapid reintegration of already trained delegates. These efforts focus essentially on creating opportunities of job placements for these young Niger Delta youth in the public and private sectors. Brigadier General Paul Buru engendered collaborations with key national agencies such as the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, the Federal Ministry of Environment, and that of Niger Delta Affairs. The Nigerian private sector was definitely not left out, with groups like Innocent Motors agreeing to partner with the Amnesty Office on various levels of skills acquisition training in the automotive and plastic industry. The Amnesty Office has also stepped up its partnership with Stare Vista Auto World in the training of delegates in general servicing and repairs of vehicles. It is hoped that these collaborations with key government agencies and the private sector would help harness available trained manpower under the Amnesty program for placements in various establishments. The Amnesty Office also sought to establish strategic partnerships with key government agencies, but more importantly, with the 9 state governments of the Niger Delta. These partnerships aim to boost skills utilization, to close existing development gaps, particularly in the Niger Delta region and Nigeria at large.
We are at the last phase of the program, reintegration phase. I'm very happy that a reasonable number has been empowered. Capacities have also been developed. All we have to do is to ensure they are integrated and we have happy people to work with. The partnership and collaboration I want to achieve with you has to do more with ensuring that we have firm control of ex-agitators, let them not be taking things for granted and misbehaving. No. So we'll be on their toes and ensure that they are disciplined. We do not create chaos within the administration.
For us to be able to get investors to South to take advantage of our natural endowment, whether it is liquid gold or gas, whatever it is, we need peace, we need some assurances that when investors come, that their personnel will be safe. But the established businesses, then these young ones can have jobs, and good jobs too.
The last thing, almost all the steps in this supplement without any incentives, like the National Director of Plan, if there is a way we can even equip those centers so that they can actually address specific needs of the region.
Let me sincerely thank you for this great and noble idea. Let me also thank you and thank Mr. President and extend felicitations to the people of Cross River State for this magnanimity. They are hitting forward and taking a new step by providing a program for their reintegration.
River State is key, Niger Delta is key, and so we need peace within this region for Nigeria to move forward. So we be assured that we are going to work cooperating with you and in partnership to move this program to a success.
Another significant development which resulted from the meetings with the state government is the agreement to monitor the progress of delegates under the program in their respective states, as well as the implementation of agreements reached. To achieve this, the Presidential Amnesty Office has set up liaison offices in all of the states of the Niger Delta. But Brigadier General Paul Buru and his team did not confine themselves to seeking only partnerships with national groups. The coordinator stimulated partnerships with international interest groups such as the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, European Union, EU, Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, the United Kingdom's Department for International Development, DFID. Business and social linkages were established between the Presidential Amnesty Office and other international bodies like the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and several international missions and embassies in Nigeria. These are expected to ultimately help create the needed atmosphere that would generate viable job opportunities for trained delegates under the program.
The slide there, you have our full support, both politically and I hope in what assistance we can help you with in terms of the job, the work that you've laid out, reintegrating ex-agitators, raising income levels in order to sustain the impacts of the Amnesty program and deliver stability in the Delta.
Israel would like to partner with you. It's not to be of help, it's to partner with you. And I mean it. I think especially in two issues. One is dealing with agriculture as a mechanism of conflict resolution in the Niger Delta. I think we can partner. I think we can do a lot.
The show of support from several international interest groups was encouraging and welcoming. But perhaps the most glaring show of commitment by the Presidential Amnesty Office towards enlisting the support of the international community was demonstrated during an official visit by Brigadier General Paul Boro to the United Kingdom. It was basically an outreach to both old and new partners in the United Kingdom. Indeed, it provided a unique opportunity to redirect the disposition of key public and private enterprises in the United Kingdom towards working with the Nigerian government on sustaining peace and stability in the Delta. This agenda became more apparent as the coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Boro, addressed prominent public and private sector figures in London. He met with policy analysts at the Chatham House and spoke to a room of experts from the Royal African Society on a future without conflict in the Niger Delta.
How many people here are optimistic about the situation in the Niger Delta, and how many people are pessimistic? First of all, who are the optimists? Who think, yes, it is now solved, it's going to be okay? 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. How many people think it's pessimistic? 1, 2, 3.
Brigadier General Boro took his advocacy for support to UK's House of Lords and the Financial Times. The key outcomes from most of these meetings are indicative of the willingness of foreign groups to partner with the Presidential Amnesty Office in achieving its core mandate of entrenching human capital development in the Niger Delta. It was in a bid to consolidate on these gains that the Presidential Amnesty Office established a liaison office at the Nigerian High Commission in London. It was one of the fallouts of the meeting between Brigadier General Paul Boro and the acting Nigerian High Commissioner, Ambassador Olukunle Bambushi. A significant outcome of the meeting was the statement of affirmation by the Nigerian High Commission to be proactive on matters concerning the Presidential Amnesty Program. That includes taking an interest in the progress of delegates of the program currently undergoing some form of training in the United Kingdom. Monitoring and evaluation is an integral aspect of the Presidential Amnesty Program. While in the United Kingdom, the coordinator of the program, Brigadier General Boro, used the opportunity to verify the progress of scholarship students under the program. Brigadier General Boro met with the student representatives from 71 universities in the United Kingdom. He was presented with a list of some of their challenges, which he promised to give priority attention and tasked them to be diligent ambassadors of Nigeria.
Get the very best of your schooling, because tomorrow will count for itself. Don't joke with this schooling at all. Don't do it. I had that opportunity. In my own case, it was the Nigerian military. Because since 10 years, I've been in the military. I attended the Nigerian military school in this area. 1972. Since then, I've been in the military until early last year. I had opportunities like this, but it was by the Nigerian military. I schooled in the US, I did my Star College in Ghana, schooled also here in UK, at Warminster, the place. So please, just be very serious with your studies. As for your money, I will do all I can to make sure you get your money. It's just that central control system, and I've also tried to make a case, but I was not granted the case to be paying through the commercial banks. So this government is trying to streamline things to be as transparent as possible. That's why things are happening really. With the present government seem to be slow in the decision taking and the advancement. It is so because they don't want to make the mistake that previous government made. So you just have to bear with the government and key into important decisions and policies by the government. The present government is open. If you have criticism that are positive, it will be brought. That's why my office is open. My numbers are always open 24 hours. So you can imagine the type of headache I have every day. All over. All of you, I've spoken with some of you. You are also on WhatsApp and SMS.
Already, the signs are good, and current advocacy efforts by the Presidential Amnesty Program have begun to pay off. For instance, the prospect for further training of some delegates of the program by the Niger Armed Forces was raised by Brigadier General Boro during an extensive official visit to the service chiefs.
This phase that you are in, the reintegration phase, is very, very crucial and very important, where those ex-militants could properly fuse into the communities, into the society, and become more useful. And their acceptance in the society is very, very fundamental.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olonishakin, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, and the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, were upfront in their support of the Presidential Amnesty Program and its impact in the Niger Delta region. The Presidential Amnesty Office elicited key agreements with each of the groups. With the Nigerian Navy, it was an agreement to collaborate in the areas of security in the Delta, sustaining peace in the area and exploring employment opportunities. There was an agreement with the Nigerian Air Force to collaborate in the training of some delegates at the pilot school in Enugu. Brigadier General Boro also brought up the viability of recruitment of trained delegates into the paramilitary when he visited the heads of the Nigeria Immigration Service, the Nigerian Customs Service, and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps.
I have manpower, credible manpower that needs to be trained, to complement what you're doing, so that you can have enough to ensure that you are able to, if not 100%, at least try to meet up the mandate given to you. So this manpower that I have, we will discuss at levels to ensure that they are trained and then make them available to you. Because that is the era we are now in a program of DDR, in the Amnesty program. We're in the last phase of the Amnesty program.
Yes.
We're in the reintegration phase of the DDR. Educators needs to be absorbed. Yeah, it is the phase where we are now, so that we are looking for areas where they can be absorbed. They are already trained, but you can now come up with specialized training that has to do with your field. But we make them available to you, groom them to the way you want, the manner you want, and then see how they can be absorbed.
While efforts continue in the drive to enlist more support, the Presidential Amnesty Office has succeeded in facilitating the engagement of 400 trained delegates within the public and private sectors in Nigeria. The Presidential Amnesty Program is gradually instilling a culture of self-reliance and sustenance amongst delegates of the program. This is the hallmark of the exit strategy in the reviewed Sustainable Reintegration Drive, which helps to ensure self-development and promote wealth creation among trained delegates. The ultimate agenda is to grow a community of experts in relevant fields and vocations that would contribute to sustained growth in the Niger Delta.
This program plays a critical role in ensuring that youths are gainfully or sustainably engaged over time, whereas we might not be able to give them jobs immediately, but as they are engaged in the program in training, various reorientation, they would certainly shun violence, and that will over time bring about peace and support the change agenda.
I am bold to say that the Nigerian economy has risen drastically, increasingly since after this program started. So we must give credence to Mr. President for his support and continuity, sustainability of the program.
When mirage transforms to dreams, dreams to mission, and mission to work, then all is well that should be well. This is the story of success and a celebration of accomplishments. This is the Niger Delta story and the impact of the Presidential Amnesty Program.